When the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was 35 years old, a severe flood struck Makkah. The Quraysh had constructed a protective barrier to guard against flooding, but this flood was so intense that it broke through the barrier and entered the Kaaba. The powerful flood currents and the accumulation of water inside caused cracks in the Kaaba's walls. The walls had already become weakened due to a fire. This fire incident occurred when a woman was burning incense in the Kaaba, and a spark from the flames reached the Kaaba's curtains, igniting them and even burning parts of the walls. As a result, the walls had become very fragile, making it easier for the flood to damage them. The original walls of the Kaaba, built by Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, were 9 cubits high and had no roof. People used to bring offerings to the Kaaba, such as cloth and perfumes. Inside the Kaaba was a well on the right side of the inner chamber, where these offerings were placed. This well was considered the Kaaba's treasure. Once, a thief attempted to steal from the Kaaba's treasure but died inside the well. After this incident, Allah sent a snake to guard the treasure. The snake would sit on the well's edge, preventing anyone from approaching the treasure. The Quraysh were also afraid of this snake. When the cracks in the Kaaba's walls appeared and the need for reconstruction arose, Allah sent a bird that took the snake away. Seeing this, the Quraysh were overjoyed. They decided to rebuild the Kaaba from scratch, with a plan to strengthen the foundations and make the walls higher. They also decided to raise the door so that no one could enter the Kaaba without permission. Only those allowed by them could enter. The tribes began gathering stones, each tribe collecting their share separately. Donations were also collected. The Quraysh were careful to only use wealth that was earned lawfully and purely. They did not include income from immoral sources, such as the earnings of prostitutes, usury, or wealth taken unjustly from others. They had a specific reason for only using pure income. The incident that led them to this conclusion was when a Quraysh chief, Wahb bin Amr bin Abid, picked up a stone to begin construction. The stone slipped from his hand and returned to the exact place it had been taken from. The Quraysh were astonished and worried. Finally, Wahb stood up and said, "O Quraysh, only pure wealth should be used in the foundation of the Kaaba. Do not include earnings from immoral women, usury, or any wealth obtained forcefully." This Wahb was the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad's ﷺ father, Hazrat Abdullah, and was known as a nobleman among his people. When the Quraysh were carrying stones for the construction of the Kaaba, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ also participated, carrying stones on his shoulder. Before starting the construction, the Quraysh felt fearful, worrying that some calamity might befall them if they demolished the Kaaba's walls. One of the chiefs, Walid bin Mughira, asked, "Are you demolishing the walls of the Kaaba to repair and improve it, or destroying it?" The people replied, "Of course, we intend to repair and improve it." Hearing this, Walid said, "Then understand this. Allah does not destroy those who intend to reform." Walid himself started the demolition, but only took down a part of the wall to see if any calamity would befall them. When the night passed without any harm, the next day, everyone joined him, and they brought down the entire structure, reaching the foundation laid by Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. The foundation built by Ibrahim alayhi salam was made of green stones, shaped like the hump of a camel, tightly bound to one another. Breaking these stones proved very difficult for the Quraysh. Under the right corner, the Quraysh discovered an inscription in the Syriac language. Since they did not know Syriac, they brought a Jewish man to read it. He translated the inscription for them, which read, "I am Allah, the Lord of Makkah, which I created on the day I made the heavens and the earth, the day I created the sun and the moon. I have surrounded it with 7 angels. Its greatness will not end as long as the mountains on both sides remain." The mountains referred to are Abu Qais, which is in front of Mount Safa, and Qayqan, near Makkah, facing Abu Qais. The inscription further described the city as being blessed and prosperous for its inhabitants, providing abundance in water and milk. This was the first inscription. The second one was found at the location of Maqam Ibrahim, which read, "Makkah is a city honored and revered by Allah. Its sustenance comes from 3 roads." The 3 routes referred to the 3 trade paths of the Quraysh, from which caravans regularly travelled. The third inscription was found a little distance away and read, "Those who sow goodness will be admired and envied," meaning people will strive to be like them, "but those who sow disgrace will find only shame and regret." You commit evil deeds and yet hope for goodness to come from them. Indeed, this is like expecting grapes to grow on a thorny acacia tree. This inscription was carved on a stone inside the Kaaba. In their efforts to reconstruct the Kaaba, the Quraysh needed not only stones but also wood for the ceiling and walls. The problem of acquiring wood was solved when a ship wrecked on the Arabian coast, which is today known as the coast of Jeddah. At that time, this place was called Malacca's coast, as it was the nearest coast to Makkah. The ship had belonged to a Roman merchant, and it carried marble, wood and iron destined for the king of Rome. When the Quraysh learned about the wrecked ship, they went there and bought the wood from its remains, which they then used in constructing the ceiling of the Kaaba. Finally, the construction reached the stage of placing the black stone, Hajar Aswad. This created a new problem. Who would have the honor of lifting and placing the Hajar Aswad in its position? Each tribe wanted to claim this honor for themselves. The dispute escalated to the point that they were ready to fight and kill each other. The Abd al-Dar tribe, along with the Adi tribe, filled a bowl with blood, dipped their hands into it, and declared, "We will place the Hajar Aswad ourselves." Other tribes insisted the same, and swords were drawn from their sheaths.